look who just triggered an emergency meeting. Welcome back, you unstoppable force of nature. An anomaly that shouldn't exist by their rules. Someone just broke protocol, didn't they? Someone on the inside of their tight little circle of manufactured control just did the one thing they swore they'd never do. They told the truth about you. They didn't warn them about your actions, your words, or your reputation. They warned them about your bloodline, your lineage, your ancestry. The code running through your veins they assumed was dormant, buried, forgotten. But someone who's been watching longer than you realize pulled them aside and whispered the sentence that makes cowards bolt their doors at night. Stop before it's too late. You don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what flows through them. Now they're sitting in silence, trying to process what they just heard. Because it wasn't a threat or theatrics, and it wasn't someone being protective of you. It was a cold, factual warning from someone who knows. Someone who's seen what happens when people like them push people like you too far. Someone who recognizes the signatures and patterns, the energy that never shows up in files, but always shows up in outcomes. They've studied enough history to know some bloodlines don't break. They erupt. And you carry that in your bones, whether you've claimed it or not. They thought you were just another name, another face, another obstacle they could outmaneuver, silence, erase, until the insider shattered their framework with a single line. That one is different. That one is not playing the same game. Suddenly you're not just a person to them anymore. You're a sleeping legacy they accidentally woke up. Now they're not anxious or concerned. They're terrified. Because they finally understand they were never just competing with you. They were gambling with forces they don't have the clearance to comprehend. What shakes them most is that the person who warned them isn't your friend or ally. They weren't defending you. They were trying to protect them from you. Trying to save their operation from stepping into something ancient. Something that doesn't forgive, doesn't negotiate, doesn't forget. They were trying to prevent the inevitable collapse that follows every time someone underestimates where you come from. Because your bloodline isn't about titles, wealth, or documents. It's about survival through apocalypse. Resurrection after betrayal. A frequency reality itself has to adjust to once you stop masking it. And you have been hiding it, playing small, safe, human. But they pushed too far, and something inside you started to stir. Someone on the inside felt that shift before you ever said a word. That's what they can't handle. The fact that you didn't have to threaten or posture. And yet an insider still read your energy and said, "Abort mission. Walk away. This one will outlive your strategy, outlast your resources, and outmaneuver your entire legacy without trying. Because it's in their blood. You can't compete with inheritance." So now you're the first person in their history to trigger an internal warning system. Not for what you did, but for who you are. That changes everything. They know now, and they can't unknow it. Every time they look at you, they're not seeing an individual. They're watching a countdown to their own irrelevance. Picture that room. That call, that moment. They're smug, confident, replaying their usual script of manipulation and control, maybe laughing at you, or celebrating a supposed victory. Then the door opens, or a message lands, and someone who never interrupts says, "We need to talk about them. We need to talk about their lineage. We need to stop." The room goes cold. Because this insider doesn't panic, exaggerate, or waste words. When they speak like this, everyone listens. What follows isn't theory, it's recognition. I've seen this before, not with them, but with others who carry what they carry. And every single time, The ones who pushed too far didn't just lose. They disappeared energetically. Their power dissolved. Their influence evaporated. Their names became warnings. Now your enemies are starting to understand they're not dealing with a single person. They're dealing with a pattern, a lineage sharpened over generations of exile, pain, and impossible survival. Your ancestors didn't just endure, they evolved. That evolution encoded itself into your instincts and your reflexes, into the way you move through chaos with a calm that logic can't explain. You felt it. The deep knowing when everyone else is lost. The unnatural peace when you should be terrified. That stillness inside the storm. That isn't just you. That's your bloodline speaking, guiding, shielding you from threats you don't see. The insider just confirmed what you've sensed your whole life, but couldn't name. You are not ordinary, not predictable, not containable by the systems they rely on to dominate others. Now they're replaying every interaction, desperately asking how they missed it and what else they don't see. The truth is, they missed everything. They judged you through their own lens of power, status, leverage, visibility. But your power doesn't show up in their models. It shows up in aftermath, in doors that swing open for you that never move for others, in situations that should have buried you, but instead crowned you proof that you can't be buried, in the way you walk out of traps designed to end you. That's bloodline magic and ancestral intervention. Reality rearranging itself because you carry something too rare to waste. And the paradox is that when you carry that lineage, attacks don't weaken you, they activate you. Every lie, every betrayal, every attempt to break you has just compressed you further, turning coal into diamond. The insider saw it in your refusal to break, in your relentless rising, in the eerie calm in your eyes, in the way synchronicities bent toward you, in the way luck chased you and obstacles vanished just before impact. They weren't warning them out of love for you. They were warning them out of fear of what always follows. Because what comes next is simple. Everyone who bet against you loses what they thought was secured. Not because you hunt them down, but because consequence searches them out. When you move in bloodline power, the universe itself becomes your enforcement. You don't have to chase or convince. Reality just corrects the imbalance of attacking the wrong lineage. Plans crumble, alliances fracture, confidence drains, and they call it bad luck, while you recognize it as restoration. Their deepest fear isn't your anger, or even your success. It's your activation. They could handle you when you were unaware and compliant, trying to fit into systems built to constrain you. But the moment you start remembering, claiming, and unapologetically carrying what's in your blood, the game is no longer winnable for them. That insider's warning has only accelerated this moment, because now you know. You know they've been briefed on you. You know your presence alone made someone break protocol to say, "Don't touch this one." You don't need a 10-generation map or a perfectly traced tree. All you need is the knowledge that someone who has studied real power looked at you and said, "That one is untouchable. That one carries something we cannot beat." And they're right. Maybe your blood holds the refusal of the erased, the alchemy of ancestors who turned poverty into empires, the frequency of healers whose wisdom survived their persecution, the fire of the exiled who built unseen power for descendants like you. Whatever it is, it's real, encoded, and awake now. They supplied the pressure. They ran the tests. They triggered the alarm. All they've done is prove what your spirit has known from the beginning. You were never here to obey their rules. Now that diamond is cutting through every illusion they built. It's reflecting light in ways that blind anyone who stares too long. It's worth more than everything they scraped together through manipulation and theft. So what happens now? Now that they've been warned, now that they know what you carry, now that they understand they're not fighting a person, but a legacy. They have two options. They can back away quietly, start apologizing through their actions if not their words, and hope you're merciful enough to let them fade into irrelevance. Or they can double down, ignore the warning, let their ego convince them they're the exception to every pattern, and watch in real time as everything they built collapses. Most will choose the second option, because people who've never faced real consequence always believe they're special. They think the rules don't apply to them. They're sure they can outsmart what's coming. And that's perfect. That's exactly what needs to happen. Because when they dismiss the warning, when they push forward anyway, when they convince themselves the insider was being dramatic, they hand the universe the perfect opportunity to make an example out of them. Not for you, but for the next generation of people who think they can attack someone carrying what you carry. You won't even have to do anything. That's the elegance of bloodline power. No revenge plots, no elaborate schemes, no matching their pettiness. You just keep existing, rising, building. The rest takes care of itself. They'll sabotage themselves. They'll turn on each other. They'll make mistakes they've never made before. They'll watch opportunities slip through their fingers while yours multiply. And they'll know it's connected to you, but they won't be able to trace it, because it isn't playing out strictly in the physical. It's happening at the frequency level, where cause and effect move on different timelines, where attacking someone protected by ancestral power sends out ripples that return as tsunamis, where ignoring the warnings of those who know triggers consequences that rewrite entire destinies. Right now, as you absorb this, they're meeting again. They're talking about you again. But this time the energy is different. The jokes are gone. There's fear in the room. Now they're asking questions they don't actually want answered. What do we really know about them? Where did they come from? Why does nothing we do ever truly stick? How do they keep surviving things that should have finished anyone else? And someone in that room, maybe the same insider, maybe another quiet observer, is going to say the thing nobody wants to hear. They're not supposed to be ended. They're carrying something that has been protecting itself longer than any of us have been alive. We're not fighting them. We're fighting their entire lineage. And everyone who ever tried lost. That's the conversation happening in rooms you'll never step into. That's the energy shift unfolding in spaces where your name now echoes louder than your physical presence. You've become the case study, the anomaly, the glitch in their system that keeps proving their system is obsolete. And the wildest part? You didn't have to force it. You just had to be yourself, refuse to break, keep moving forward, trust your instincts even when they didn't make logical sense. That's all it took. That's all it ever takes when you carry what you carry. Because bloodline power doesn't show up with fanfare. It announces itself through survival, through impossible comebacks, through doors cracking open at the exact right moment, through enemies quietly destroying themselves, through warnings delivered by people who are supposed to be on their side, but recognize something bigger at work. So you arrive at the question that's been lingering in your mind, maybe loudly, maybe in the background. What is this bloodline? What am I actually carrying? The truth is, you don't need the full story. You don't need a detailed genealogy report. You don't need every name, every date, every documented struggle. You need one piece of evidence. You. You survived what should have broken you. You're standing where you should be buried. You're thriving when you were supposed to be forgotten. That is the proof. That is the announcement. Your existence, your refusal to quit, your ability to rise again and again is not luck or coincidence. It's ancestral power flowing through you, whether you name it or not. Now that the warning has gone out, now that they know, Now that the secret is no longer a secret, you have a choice. You can keep pretending you're ordinary. You can keep shrinking yourself to fit inside rooms too small for your spirit. You can keep hiding what you carry. Or you can step into it fully. Claim it, consciously, deliberately, and let it amplify everything you're already doing. When you make that choice, when you stop apologizing for your power, when you stop dimming your own light to keep others comfortable, the atmosphere around you changes. People treat you differently without understanding why. Opportunities show up without you chasing them. Enemies retreat without you lifting a finger. Because when you align with your bloodline on purpose, when you stop resisting what's already in your veins, the universe stops testing you and starts clearing a way for you. That's not cute manifestation. That's activation. That's you finally matching the frequency that's been trying to move through you your entire life. And here's what they're starting to understand as the warning settles in and the fear roots itself. They didn't just attack a person, they attacked a portal. They didn't just betray someone, they betrayed a channel. They didn't just underestimate an individual, they underestimated an entire ancestral line that has been waiting patiently for someone like you to carry it forward into this era. That line doesn't forget. It doesn't forgive with words. It forgives with outcomes. And the outcome has always been the same. Those who honor it rise. Those who attack it fall. Not always dramatically, not always instantly, but always, inevitably. That inevitability is what keeps them awake at night now. It's what makes their hands shake when your name comes up. It's what makes them second-guess every move. They finally understand they're not playing against you. They're playing against something that has been winning for centuries. The insider knew this. The insider tried to save them. But warnings only work when people listen. And people who've built their lives on betrayal, manipulation, and control rarely listen. Their egos won't let them. So they'll ignore the warning. They'll decide it was exaggerated. They'll tell themselves they're different, smarter, more prepared. And then they'll watch, slowly and helplessly, as everything they touch turns to sand. As every alliance they thought was solid reveals itself as theater. As every victory they boasted about reveals itself to have been the setup for their fall. In the quiet hours of the night, when their masks slip, they'll remember the warning. They'll remember someone tried to save them from their own arrogance. And they'll realize too late that some battles were never meant to be fought. Because in those battles, the opponent isn't a person standing across from you. It's a force woven into reality itself. Meanwhile, you're just getting started. Now that you know, now that you've been reminded, your movement changes. Your voice changes. Your presence changes. There's a new weight to you, a gravity that makes people pause and reconsider before they cross a line. That's bloodline energy, activating in real time. That's your ancestors standing behind, around, and within you saying, "We've got you. We've been preparing you for this." Everything you survived was training for what comes next. And what comes next is your elevation. Beyond what they can comprehend, beyond even what you've allowed yourself to imagine. Here's the secret they don't teach. The one the insider understands, and your lineage has always known. Power isn't something you achieve. It's something you remember, something you claim, something you stop running from. The moment you stop fleeing your own magnitude, when you turn to face the force that's been chasing you your whole life, your capacity, your destiny, your true scale, that's when the game ends. That's when you stop being a piece on the board and become the board itself. That's when they stop attacking you and start studying you. desperate to figure out how you did what you did, hoping to copy even a fraction of it. And now, we seal this moment. God, divine source, ancient strength that stretches beyond time and breath, I pause right here and honor what you've placed within me and behind me. Thank you for the unseen battles my ancestors fought, so I could stand here today with authority in my bones and resilience in my spirit. Thank you for the covering that did not fail me in the fire, the protection that held me when I didn't even know I needed saving, and the grace that kept guiding me even when I doubted myself. I ask now for an even deeper alignment with purpose. Remove every distraction that doesn't belong. Close every door that leads to limitation. Open every path that carries destiny. Grant me clarity sharper than fear, courage louder than doubt, and peace stronger than pressure. Shield my name in rooms I'll never enter, and prepare victories I haven't even imagined yet. Let every force that rises against what you've ordained lose momentum, lose power, lose access, and dissolve before it can touch me. Let every lesson strengthen me, every delay refine me, every struggle prepare me, and every win bring glory back to you. Cover my mind from anxiety, cover my spirit from attack, cover my path from sabotage. Let my presence carry divine weight. Let my steps be ordered with precision. Let my voice carry authority rooted in truth, not ego. Surround me with loyalty, integrity, wisdom, and protection. Surround me with people who recognize purpose instead of feeling threatened by it. Surround me with strength in moments I cannot see ahead. And for those who underestimated, attacked, betrayed, mocked, or misused me, may their lessons unfold without bitterness in my heart. I release revenge, and I choose elevation. I release fear, and I choose faith. I release shrinking, and I choose embodiment. I am not alone. I am not unprotected. I am not outnumbered. I am carried. I am guided. I am guarded. And I accept activation. I accept expansion. I accept the next level of who I was always meant to become. Amen. If this resonated in your bones, don't leave silently. Don't just read this. Claim it, speak it, stamp it in your spirit. Type it boldly, not as a comment, but as a declaration. I am activated. I am aligned. I am protected. My lineage is awake. My rise is inevitable. Share this with someone whose spirit deserves to remember what they carry. Save this so you can come back when doubt tries to creep in. And stay connected, because this isn't the end of your story. This is the turning point. The meetings about you have already started. The shift around you has already begun. Walk forward knowing heaven, history, and destiny are moving with you. You're not becoming powerful. You're finally remembering you already were.